Welcome, everyone. I'm Kelly Covert, and I'm excited to bring you another Symphoria Community Spotlight. Today I have Dr. Joseph Nimeh. He is the Assistant Professor of Pediatrics at SUNY Upstate Medical University. And he's here today to talk about a really wonderful program that Upstate is providing called the Virtual Family Walk Talk. Welcome, Dr. Joe. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. It's great to be here.
Of course. Before we dive into the meat, we were talking before we started recording about how you actually know our music director, Larry Lowe, from a long time ago, way back in your college days. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, Larry and I both went to undergraduate at the University of Rochester in Rochester, New York. And we were both singers. Larry is a far more talented overall musician by far than I am, but we were both in what I think of as a pretty good a cappella group, the University of Rochester Yellow Jackets. And it was a pretty competitive group. I tried to get in my first year a couple of times and didn't, but then I got in my first semester of my sophomore year, and Larry was the musical director of that group at that point. So it was really fun to be able to sing under his leadership as the director of our small group of 10 to 12 guys touring around the country and singing a cappella music. And we were also in a chamber group together as well.
That's so fun.
It was really good times. When he came to Syracuse to direct the symphony, I was thrilled that he was back in town where I was and that we could rekindle an old relationship. It was awesome.
For sure. It feels like in one way or another, all roads lead back to Syracuse.
Yeah, I think right? Certainly all of mine did. Yeah, for sure.
Well, so tell us about this wonderful program that you have up at Upstate, the Family Walk Talk.
Yeah, so this is a program that we've been trying to build for a couple of years now. I have two main collaborators. There's a guy named Chris Abbott. He's the youth director of the Syracuse, City of Syracuse Parks and Rec program. And he and I have been involved in multiple different organizations, the Syracuse City School District Wellness Committee, Syracuse Grows, which is a consortium of urban gardeners in the area that work together to provide resources to each other and other things. And through those organizations and a lot of what was being done with them, we just had a lot of mutual contacts and interest. And one day after a meeting, we were talking outside in a parking lot and said, you know, we really should put a program together that links our two organizations, the Parks and Rec Department and SUNY Upstate Peds on the other, because we have so many mutual interests. So we thought of having a walking program for families on the Onondaga Creek Walk. And for 2 years, we did this in an unfunded, sort of haphazard way, inviting people down to the creek walk to go for walks. And we had some participation. We've met a lot of people along the way doing that, especially the Sisters of the Zeta Phi Beta Service Sorority. They've been very supportive and have joined us for the last couple of years. They're one of our oldest collaborators in this particular venture. And then in this past year, we applied for and received a $10,000 grant from the American Academy of Pediatrics to develop this program into something more, something that involves exercise and access to locally grown produce and a community needs assessment and some health education. So we're really thrilled to have it be funded this year and to sort of be taking off in a different way.
Oh, I love it. I love that so much. I love that you're pulling in all these different parts of the community, because I feel like that's a lot of what Symphoria does. We don't want to just be sort of this isolated thing by ourselves. It's really about engaging and inspiring and pulling in all of the people of Central New York. And how are some of the ways that you're doing that? What are your outreach look like? How are you engaging with the community?
Yeah, so I think that's one of the main aspects of what we want to try to do. The grant is able to, it enables us to fund the program in such a way that we linked with the Brady Farm, which is, I think it's about 5.8 acre farm on the southwest side. It's a newly developed farm in the last few years. I was actually part of the advocacy for that and was at the zoning meeting when it was approved and things like that. And a good friend of ours, Jesse Lyons, runs that farm and is through the Brady Faith Center and she used to work for the Cornell Cooperative Extension. So one of the ways we can engage with the community there is every time people participate in the grant, we're able to give them a $10 voucher that gives them access to free food from the farm. And so we think that's a really nice collaborative there, where not only does it benefit the farm, which I think is a fantastic program itself, but also anybody that wants to volunteer to join our program for an hour a week is able to receive those resources as well. And we're also doing a lot of other incentives for people to come and join with us. As far as outreach, we have a number of different community organizations that are helping us to recruit people to participate in the program. So Peace Incorporated, the Department of Health, the Syracuse City School District, Parks and Rec, Big Brothers, Big Sisters program. There's a number of others. The Zeta Phi Beta sorority, again, is helping with outreach. A number of different organizations think there's value in this program and what it can provide to the community. And so fortunately, they're helping us to broaden our reach to possible participants that can benefit from it.
I love it. There's so many like little fingers going out and in so many healthy ways too. That makes me really excited. So do you have any success stories that you can share?
Well, I think one of the interesting things about the program this year is that obviously with COVID being present, it's changed probably the way we're interviewing right now, but it's also changing the way our program had to run. So we had to really rethink things. We received the grant before COVID had hit, and so we had one plan. And then when COVID came, we had to sort of shift gears and think of how to do this. So it went all virtual, all online. As a result, we were able to build in different things, but had to cancel other parts of the program. One of the things that I think is super important about the program is that about half of every week's session is dedicated to a community needs assessment. It was part of what we built into the grant writing of the program, and I'm really excited about that piece of it. It really, given the divisive nature of our nation right now and all the things that are happening with race relations and all kinds of different things, I think it's extraordinarily important at this moment in time for people to feel like they have a voice. There's certainly many avenues in which people are taking to achieve that. And I think this is one tiny little way that we might be able to hear from people from the community itself so that they can let us know. I don't pretend to know what people in our community, in our inner city especially, need exactly. I have some ideas, but I have a lot more that I want to get from them to tell us as a group of people who are collaborating, what does the community need to thrive? What does it need to do better? What issues need to be addressed? And I feel like for a half hour once a week, it's not a bad thing to just offer some incentives and also an availability for people to have that voice and let them know what they're thinking, what they think is important for their community so that we can then take that information and advocate for them.
Yeah. Oh, wow. I really love that. And I'm writing some notes down as you say this, because in our, our exploration of the wonderful community organizations we have, I actually think of a few people that you might like to connect with. So I'll tell you that when we're done.
I'm always looking for more of those finger projections to go out and reach new people. Absolutely.
Yeah, 100%. Well, so, a big part of what we love doing and what we encourage our supporters to do is to go out and tell their friends about Symphoria, to tell their family what they love, to post on Facebook that they're coming to a concert. And I'm curious to know what is one thing that you would love people to share about the family health walk and talk? What can we do to help get the word out?
Well, I think the registration process is pretty straightforward. You just go to the Syracuse Parks and Recreation website, register there, and then go to programs and register for our program. It's quite easy. There's 2 steps to it, but that part is fairly easy. I'd love to just get the word out that this program is available, that it's open to anyone that wants to participate, that we would love to hear everybody's voice, that every time people participate, they get that same $10 voucher for food from the farm, which I think, again, supports multiple different aspects of this. They get some exercise at a time when maybe it's hard to get outside and join other groups. It gives an opportunity for some group interaction with group exercise. Each session is going to have a resident or an attending doctor from pediatrics to provide some health-related information, which I think is pretty cool as well. Mostly, I just want people to know that the program is out there and available to them. The bigger the reach we have, the more I can utilize the resources I have and then make this a sustainable program going forward. So I think that's the biggest thing. We've already heard from a number of community members different ideas of things that they think their community needs, and that's very meaningful for us. It really helps to drive our agenda and drive our advocacy. So the more people that come out to participate in this, the better. It's every Tuesday at 5:30 p.m. We did it at a sort of a strange time, but we tried to pick a time when people might be available at home before dinner was getting started, but after work, and when their kids might be available to jump around with us as pediatricians. We want a lot of families and kids involved in this. So really just getting the word out about this and letting them know it's open to everyone and that the benefits are theirs to reap.
Wonderful. And, I just had a thought. My kids just started school today, and all of our gym classes are at home. Mm-hmm. And so this would be a great gym class once a week for families who have kids who are doing gym at home or who are doing online school at home. So I'm definitely going to check it out. And Joe, we thank you so much for being here. Thank you for really, what I think is just sort of caring about the whole health of our community in so many ways. We really appreciate what you're doing, and we'll put a link to the registration. So if you're interested, you can go check it out, and also you can share with your friends, or if you have grandkids or family members that would really benefit from this, please share. Joe, thanks so much for being here with us today.
Yeah, thank you so much for the opportunity for me to talk to you about it. I really appreciate it.